The Europa League is back again, and in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys my predictions for the second match day in the league phase. In today's video, I'm going to be predicting the score lines of every single match in the second match day. And obviously, if you guys want to keep seeing more Europa League predictions for every single match day, remember to leave a like on this video and leave a comment down below. It's kind of crazy to me that the first match day was only 1 week ago, but I guess that's how football is nowadays. In these UEFA competitions, these teams will be playing much more games and much more frequently. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. Starting off with the first match, we have Ferencváros against Tottenham. In the first match day, Ferencváros didn't do as good as I expected them to do, where I predicted that they were going to beat Anderlecht, but they did end up losing that game. On the other hand, if we look at Tottenham, so far this season, they haven't been the best, especially in the Premier League. But in the most recent weeks, they have been starting to pick up good results, and in their last 4 games, they have won all 4 of those games. I think Tottenham are finally starting to find their form. They're playing much better, and for that reason, I do think they will pretty easily win this game. I'm going to predict that Tottenham win 4-1. Moving on to the next match, we have Hoffenheim against Dynamo Kiev. Both of these teams didn't do very good in the first match day, and I would say in this match, most people would probably say that Hoffenheim are the favorites. But so far this season, they have been playing very poorly. They have been losing almost every single one of their games in the Bundesliga. They drew in the last match day against FC Midtjylland, and in this game, I don't think they're going to be able to win. Dynamo Kiev aren't the best team, but they are definitely an underrated team, and I think in this game they will cause an upset, and I think Dynamo Kiev will win this game 1-0. Moving on to the next match, we have Lazio against Nice. Lazio did incredible in their first match day against Dynamo Kiev, where they ended up winning 3-0. And I thought that was a very convincing performance by them. And even in the Serie A, yes, they aren't near the top of the table, but they are still playing pretty good, and they have had a fairly decent start to the season. Nice are in a similar league position that Lazio are, but they haven't been performing as good this season. And in this game, I do think that Lazio will win this game with the home advantage. They will win 2-1. The next game we got is Maccabi Tel Aviv against FC Midtjylland. Both of these teams didn't play particularly well in the first game, and in this game I think it will be a very close match. Obviously both of these teams aren't very popular teams, but Maccabi Tel Aviv, we have seen them in the past play very good against some top tier teams. They have often pulled off with upsets, where FC Midtjylland don't really have that same quality about them. Now again, I think this game could go either way, but I'm going to predict that Maccabi Tel Aviv win this game 1-0. The next game we got is Olympiacos against Braga. In the first match day, Olympiacos were versing Lyon, and I thought that they were actually going to win that game, as they are currently the Conference League champions. But they didn't do well in that game, and they ended up losing 2-0. But in this game, they do have the home advantage, and I think they will come back. Braga were versing Maccabi Tel Aviv in the first match day, and they didn't start off that game that good. Now, obviously, they did come back towards the end of the game. But in this game, with the home advantage that Olympiacos has, I do think they will be able to win this game 2-1. The next game we got is Karabag against Malmo. In the first match day, I did predict that Karabag were going to beat Tottenham. Now, obviously, that was a pretty crazy prediction, and it was just for fun. But in that game against Tottenham, they actually did very well. Even though they didn't score any goals, they could have definitely scored 2 or maybe even 3 goals. We saw last season how good Karabag were against some of the top teams like Bayer Leverkusen, where they almost won both of those games. And in this game against Malmo, I do think Karabag will pretty comfortably win this game 2-0. The next game we got is Real Sociedad against Anderlecht. Real Sociedad have not been that good this season in the La Liga, where last season we saw them as one of the top teams in the Spanish division. But this season so far, they have not looked the same. And even in the first match day, a lot of people had them as favorites against Nice, but they ended up drawing that game 1-1. But Anderlecht similarly haven't been that good in the Belgium league either this season. But in this game, Real Sociedad do have the home advantage. They have the experience over Anderlecht, and for that reason, I think they will win this game 2-0. The next game we got is RFS against Galatasaray. We saw RFS get absolutely destroyed by FCSB in the last match day, where they lost 4-1. When on the other hand, Galatasaray did very well against PAOK, where they won 3-1. And in this game, we have a team that's coming off of a hard defeat versus a team that's coming off of a big win. I think Galatasaray will pretty comfortably win this game. RFS are at home, and with the home advantage, I do think they will score 1 goal, but I think Galatasaray will score 3, and they will win this game. The next game we got is Slavia Prague against Ajax. Ajax did much better than expected in the first match day, where they ended up beating Besiktas 4-0. That was a crazy game, and they did very well. But Slavia Prague are one of those teams where they can pull off with upsets, they can pull off with crazy results. We've seen it before, and we could possibly see it again. And Ajax are one of those teams where, yes, they have been playing good in recent games, but there are some of those games where they could lose against a team like Slavia Prague, which they are favorites against. But I don't think that's going to happen in this game. I do think Ajax will be able to win this game. I think it will be a very close game, but I'm going to predict that Ajax win 2-1. The next game we got is Athletic Club against AZ Alkmaar. Athletic Club are a very good team. Last season, they did very well in the La Liga. So much better than expected. They won the Copa del Rey, which no one really expected. I definitely didn't expect that. And in this game against AZ Alkmaar, they are definitely the favorites, and with the home advantage, I think they will win. AZ Alkmaar are doing good this season, and in the first match day, they did win that game. But I'm going to predict that Athletic Club win this game 3-1. The next game we got is Besiktas against Frankfurt. Both of these teams did not perform as good as expected in the first match day, where Besiktas got smoked by Ajax 4-0, and Frankfurt ended up drawing 3-3 against Victoria Pilsen, who most people would have thought that Frankfurt would have definitely won that game. For that reason, I think this would be a very close matchup. Both of these teams want to come back from their previous game, which they both did not do very well. And with the home advantage, I do think Besiktas will score a goal, but I think Frankfurt are too good for Besiktas. I think they will win this game 2-1. The next game we got is Elfsborg against Roma. Before the last match day, I never really watched Elfsborg play, but in that match against AZ Alkmaar, they actually did pretty good, a lot better than what I expected. And with the home advantage, I think Roma could struggle a little bit in this game. Roma obviously had a horrible start to the season under Daniele De Rossi, but since they sacked him and they signed Ivan Juric, they've actually started playing much better than I expected. And yes, they are playing away in this game, but I still think they will be able to win 3-1. The next game we got is probably the best matchup in the second match day, and it is FC Porto against Man United. Manchester United have not been good this season, and they have had some horrible results. They have played very poorly in recent weeks. And in this game against FC Porto, with the home advantage, I think this would be a pretty comfortable win for Porto. In the first match day, Manchester United drew against FC Twente, and in recent weeks in the Premier League, they have not been playing well at all. Whereas Porto, yes, they didn't do good in the first match day, but they are one of those teams where they can pull off with upsets and they can play against some of the top teams in the world. And Manchester United at the moment isn't even a top team in the world. So for that reason, I do think Porto will win this game 2-1. The next game we got is FC Twente against Fenerbahce. Now, both of these teams didn't play particularly well in the first match day, but they both came out of it with favorable results, as FC Twente ended up tying against Man United and Fenerbahce did win in their game. This game, in my opinion, will be a very close matchup. I think both of these teams are fairly evenly ranked. I do think Fenerbahce are the better team, but I think this could go either way. We could see FC Twente pull off with a good result, but for the predictions, I'm going to say that Fenerbahce win this game 1-0, and it's a very close matchup. The next game we got is PAOK against FCSB. In the first match day, I severely underrated FCSB, and that was purely based off the fact that I've never really seen them play. But in that match against RFS, they were very dominant, and they ended up winning that game 4-1. And yes, PAOK didn't play that badly against Galatasaray. They did concede 3 goals, and for that reason, I think they will lose this game. FCB are much better than I expected them to be, and yes, this won't be an easy matchup, especially playing away. I think they will be able to come away with the win, and I'm going to predict that FCSB win this game 2-1. The next game we got is Rangers against Lyon. Both of these teams ended up winning in the first match day 2-0. Rangers won against Malmo and Lyon unexpectedly won against Olympiacos. Obviously, Rangers are one of the best teams in the Scottish division, and usually they do finish either first or second place, where they're always in that title race with Celtic. When Lyon, on the other hand, aren't really as much as a competitor for the top spot in the French division, but they usually do finish around 3rd to 6th place. But in recent years, we have seen them drop off a little bit, and for that reason, I think this game will end in a 1-1 draw. The next game we got is Union Saint-Gilloise against Bodo Glimt. Every single game I watch from Bodo Glimt, they keep surprising me. From last season to this season, they are always playing better than what I expect them to do. And in this game against Union Saint-Gilloise, even though they are playing away, I'm not going to keep underrating Bodo Glimt. They are a very, very good team. They play some good football, and I think they will win this game 3-1. And finally, the last game we got is Victoria Pilsen against Ludogorets. Normally, I would probably predict that Victoria Pilsen would lose this game, but after their first match day where they ended up drawing 3-3 against Frankfurt in an incredible comeback game, I think that they might actually play pretty decently against Ludogorets. Ludogorets didn't do very good in the first match day where they ended up losing that game against Slavia Prague. And for that reason, with the home advantage, I think Victoria Pilsen will be able to score a goal. Ludogorets, in my opinion, will also score 1 goal, and I'm going to predict a 1-1 draw. And that is the end of my Europa League predictions for the second match day in the league phase. If you guys agree with my predictions, remember to leave a comment down below. But again, if you disagree with my predictions and you think there might be a few upsets here and there, remember to leave your predictions in the comments down below, and I'll be sure to reply to every single comment. If you guys have been enjoying all the uploads recently, remember to leave a like on this video. And obviously, if you enjoyed these predictions, remember to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and stay tuned for more videos.